Hey guys, how you doing? It's been a while since I've done a one-on-one. It's been a while since I've done videos other than the interview with Josh. And I reset the studio and the audio was kind of crappy. Apologize for that because I didn't have a lot of time to run through and fine tune everything, so the audio was kind of shitty. There was a lot of value to it if you have the patience to listen through the rough audio. The camera was a little blurry too. So like I said, I just set it up again. So today, I'm just going to do it with my cell phone. I'm going to run through some things. I didn't have anything that I thought I could share that was of value without being negative, right? So I just kind of stopped and I figured, okay, it's time for me to observe more and think more before I share. I got to the point where I came up with a couple ideas because my gears keep going. I'm like, okay, wait a second, I got some things that I do want to share of value. And I'm not sharing these things from a higher perspective. You know, like I'm not a genius on anything. I'm not a professional. I'm not an expert, right? But I share things that I wish I could share with the younger me, right? Because I'm getting older, I'm getting wiser, I'm thinking differently, you know, and that's growth. So if I can share these little seeds and maybe help you grow, or maybe have you look at life a little bit differently, you know, that's what I want to do. I want to provide some value for it. You can ditch it. You know, if you don't water those seeds, they're not going to grow. You know, maybe you just bypass it. But there's a lot of stuff on YouTube where people come from the perspective of being an expert. I'm not that. I am so flawed, it's unbelievable. But sometimes I notice those flaws and I want to share that with you guys. I want to say, look, I realize this about myself. Maybe you got the same thing going on, maybe you don't. But here's what I discovered. So now I realize I got a little bit of something of value I want to share with you guys again. So came up with a list as far as meta values. There's controlling your emotions, right? That's pretty fucking manly. Language trends, where people use trendy phrases to sound like they're smart. That's bullshit. You know, I'll cover that later. Self-loyalty, meaning that don't follow suit with your tribe. Be loyal to yourself first and don't be scared to share your thoughts. I'll cover that one later. What I landed on was tribal blinders, you know, some of the ideas I had. And when you have your tribal blinders on, it prevents you from being unified, right? So anything other than what your tribe is guided you to believe, if you say anything against that or outside of that with your own personal thought, which is your personal loyalty, you're not confident in doing so because you feel you might get a bad reaction. We should live our lives like, fuck that. You know, they say, I use cuss words. I could give less fucks or don't give any fucks. You should not give any fucks. You should prioritize. And when it comes to a stranger not understanding your points or even your friends, if they're not willing to hear your point of view, don't give a fuck. Who cares? Let's go crooked a little bit. But with the tribal blinders, I realized that there's a lot of people that take in their information from a singular source. So if somebody has an opposing view from me, I don't discount them because if I was taking in their singular source, I would probably think the same way. But I've said this on videos before where it's important to have a better understanding because media is biased, right? That you take it in from several resources on both sides or all sides, right? Libertarian, I like a lot of things they have to say. Democrats, Andrew Yang has some very solid points. And there's some Tulsi Gabbard, you know, she is awesome. That's Democrat side. And there's a lot of things that I believe on the Republican side. And the thing is, I don't want to shut anybody down when it comes to a conversation with somebody that has opposing views. I have to better understand where they get their information from. So when I say take in conflicting information, I mean sources that are saying the opposite thing. If you have the patience to take in information from multiple sources that are conflicting and apply logic, critical thought, and come up with your own opinion, that's how we should be doing things. I mean, not saying you have to, who cares? Keep your blinders on, that's fine. But for the unification of America, if we're not going to be talking about tribalism, you know, let's be Americans first, right? And then allow each other to have opposing views. But try to understand those opposing views. Because you might have a better understanding by having an open conversation with somebody where you're like, wait a second, I didn't think about that. Then you go back and you try to do a little research on yourself or research yourself, not yourself. You research on your own right? To better understand the topic. So that way, next time you have a discussion or just for your own personal beliefs, you understand the situation better. Not just taking the information from one news source and putting all your eggs in that basket. Because we know media is biased and they sensationalize headlines on every spectrum to get the clicks, to get the attention so they can sell commercials or marketing, right? We know that. So if you look at opposing information and apply critical thought, you're going to have a better understanding of things. And, pardon me, it's going crooked because I'm doing it from my cell phone again. I'll get the studio hooked up, I promise, guys. Last time I hooked it up, it just didn't sound right, so I'm going to work on that. I just want to do a quick one. To understand each other's point of views is very important, because when we have a conversation, you don't want to shut each other down. I think it's most important that the first thing you do if you talk about anything social, political, any of those important views that we're all talking about now, first, find something that you can agree on and build a conversation from there. Because immediately, for the most part, lately, we disagree with each other and we shut each other down and become emotional. Again, that's what I said on the other ideas: control your emotions. Because if you get emotional over discussions, then you're going to shut the discussion down. You can be passionate. That's admirable if you're passionate about something. But if you're passionate about something and don't do the research behind it, then you're an empty cannon, right? So you want to fill yourself up. You want to get all the fodder. You want to get all the ammo that you can first. And if you can support your ideas as you share them, it doesn't mean you're trying to convince the other person that you're right. It just means you're trying to get an understanding handed over to that person so they don't shut you down and think you're a complete idiot for believing what you do because you support it. So if we take off the tribal blinders, we have a better chance to have American unity instead of being so separated, polar lately. I don't like the way, this is my personal opinion, I don't like the direction that we are going as Americans. Like, I'm in Minnesota and there's Packers, the Wisconsin Packers, Minnesota Vikings. I understand that tribalism. That's entertainment tribalism. That's fine. Or who's the best rapper? Who's the best band, of 2022? Fine. Be tribal that way. Or what's the best music genre? Fine. Be tribal that way. But when it comes to social issues or political issues that affect society, be open. Be open to understand, because you see that we're getting fed biased information from both sides. And if I was to just take in information from one biased media source on this side, then I'm going to be like, these people on this other side are bonkers. They're crazy. So if I take in both sides, apply some critical thought, some logic, to better understand, and I decide for myself, when it comes time for me to have a conversation with somebody to share or gain understanding, I can better support my views, as opposed to just saying, well, I saw it on CNN, I saw it on Fox. Don't you know it? Come on, don't be stupid. I saw it over there. You don't see it too? We're being lied to by all media, or sensationalizing headlines by media affects our perception. And political influence is going crazy. We're coming up on midterms. And then even before I even had a thought about politics, I used to realize by watching regular TV before cable that it was slander season, where people don't run on what they're going to do for the people. They run on how bullshit their opponent is, right? And you see that going on right now. Even though Donald Trump is not the president, they're pointing the finger at MAGA and Donald Trump and how much bullshit he is, and vice versa. They try to take each other apart rather than run on what they have done or what they plan to do, So I don't think we should argue as Americans to cause more separation without having a decent, not a deep understanding. We're not professors of politics. We just observe. And when it comes down to reality, not the media influence, but what we see from day to day, what you pay for gas prices, I'm not going to touch on all this stuff. We know what we see when we walk out of the house. That's the reality. Now, how that reality is spun and fed to us by either side, any media, being biased, they sensationalize this stuff. So we have to fine tune our bullshit meters. That's the total truth. I see bullshit on all sides, or sensationalizing headlines on all sides. And like I said, maybe that's to get the media clicks or the attention, the viewers, so they can sell more advertising. I think it's bullshit, and I think we're all, it's tilting again. I think we're all being played a little bit. And what I don't like is when media and government tries to manipulate us, tries to bullshit us like we're stupid. And the only way that we can avoid being bullshitted is to become less ignorant. Now, when I say ignorant, I don't mean stupid, I mean uninformed. So if you take in multiple sources of media on all spectrums and decide for yourself, you're less ignorant, because the ideas and views that you have, once you culminate all that and think for yourself, is going to be something solid, where even if somebody has a better point than you can support whatever you're saying because you took in all this information. So I understand this side of it, I understand that side of it, and here's my view. And here's why I think that way. And I think that should translate into our relationship conversations or arguments as well. So you don't want to just say something and not support it. You want to be able to support it, and that gives value to it. It gives substance. It gives base to it. Otherwise, without having that base, it's like, a tent without being tied into the ground. It's going to blow away, right? You want to be solid. You want to be stable in your points of view when you share those with people. So all I'm saying is take off the tribal blinders, because if you're solo just thinking that the group that you belong to is always right, always correct, and everything else is wrong, you're being manipulated to some degree, because I'm not standing in the middle. Where I stand varies. And when it comes to individual issues, I'm all over the place. Because if it makes sense to me and I understand enough of the background beforehand, I have my own view, and I'm not scared to tell it to the people that I agree with the most. I'm not scared to share that with the people that I disagree with the most. And that's the personal loyalty that I mentioned before, which I'll do more videos on this stuff, guys. I just haven't done one in a while, so I just got all this stuff bottled up. Bear with me. If you have any comments, please share them. If you have any ideas that are along the lines of men of values, please share those too, because I'm starting to feel more energized and want to share more stuff. And again, it's not from a point of superiority, like I'm better than you guys and you got to step your game up. I'm trying to plant seeds. I am flawed. Like I said, I'm very flawed. I could itemize all that at one time. Maybe I'll do a video of that. Hey guys, this is how fucked up I am. So I'm not a person that should be telling you how to live, but I'm just trying to give you ideas on things you can do to help better guide your life. And I'm misdirected. I always have been. But again, I'm trying to speak to myself at a younger age. So I'm 48, going on 49 in a couple months, right? So I'm older and wiser. I wish I could talk to the 20 or 30-year-old me and share some of this insight. Now, I don't think I would have been that interested in like politics and everything, but men of values, yes. Yes, and it all ties together in the end. When you think about any of these videos that I do, it all relates to one thing: men of values. Be stronger, be masculine, and your perception of stronger could be something different. I lift weights. That doesn't make me a stronger man, right? It's the thought and the wisdom that comes with it. I can be physically stronger, but I think we all need to take a look at our deficiencies. And my deficiencies are abundant, and I try to evaluate those and share those with you guys. And if I get over those deficiencies, I want to share how I did it. Not saying I'm better. I'm a work in progress, and I think we all are. I don't think anybody could say, I got this locked down. This next subject he's talking about, I'm perfect at it. I don't think so. I think we all need work. And that's the way I can be the role model. You could say, okay, Scott, I noticed some deficiencies in myself. Let me be the role model. Look at me. I'm deficient all over the place. I mean, if you put me under a microscope, you can see all kinds of things that I need work on. But the fact that I'm working on those, that's where I should be the role model, is that I don't accept mediocrity. I want to evolve, whether it's mentally, physically, socially. I want to grow. I'm not there yet. And I think if you're watching this video past the first minute, you're not there either, because you're curious about what I'm saying. Hopefully you keep tuning in once in a while. You can read the title, and if you think what the video's title is crap, just pass it by. You don't need to subscribe. You don't need to comment. You don't need to like. I'm not soliciting anything. But if I provide value for you, I do put my email on most of the videos I do. So if you have something you want to share that's outside of YouTube, please do contact me personally. think since I started this channel, it's not about getting the views, but I've had very few comments and very few email. Very few views, but I want to keep it that way. I don't want to be a popular channel where people just tune in because I'm saying the most current tagline or the title for my video posts are something that's going to get clicks. I think if I put Joe Rogan is my favorite podcaster, I would get a lot of clicks just because it says Joe Rogan. That put me in the algorithm, and at least people watch the first couple seconds, and the next thing you know, my video is being available for more people to see. I don't want to do that. Hip-hop music. I used to love hip-hop music, right? I mean, I still love hip-hop, but I don't like the current hip-hop because it's now a cookie cutter. And that's what I was talking about, fashionable language or trendy language. Stay away from that stuff. Be original. Be loyal to yourself. When you're creative, you can be creative in how you speak, how you dress, how you walk, how you talk, how you behave, right? You don't have to follow this cookie cutter crap. And that's where I drifted away from hip hop, is because even pop music in the 80s and hip hop in the 80s, people weren't scared to throw out one hit that made no sense, but it became a hit, and then they didn't have anything else after that, but they weren't scared to take a chance. They had personal loyalty, saying, I think I like this. I think people would like it. You know, even if they didn't, they took that chance. That's how we have to operate, or we should operate. I'm not saying that's how we have to operate, but that's how we should. Personal loyalty. If you want to express yourself, do it. And sexually, there's been a lot of conversation about this lately. Express yourself that way too. Nobody's shutting you down. I mean, media will have you believe that nobody, or certain people don't like gay people. Certain people don't like LBGTQRS, whatever. Your pronouns. Give me your name. I'm going to call you by your name. I'm not going to say Zim, Zer, he, whatever. Just give me your name. I'll respect you enough to use your name respectfully. Going off on a tangent. I always do that. So the video was not on this topic. I haven't done a video in a while, so I'm rambling. I apologize, and looking at the statistics, I see that some of you guys listen to my rambling, and I hope you're not taking drinks every time I start the ramble or some game like that. I don't want to get you drunk. Just go ahead and do it on your own. Whatever. Personal loyalty. If you want to get drunk, get drunk. Don't base it off of me talking shit and just rambling on. Anyways, I'm going to try to do this more often. I'm going to try to get some more videos in. The studio is getting more put together. I could hook up the nice microphones, but I already have them hooked up, but the audio is shit. So I got to take some time to perfect that. But I also got some new equipment over here that I'm trying to learn that too. Plus work and, have my social relationships and familial relationships. So I got a lot going on. The reason why I did this on my cell phone is because it's quick and easy to get the points across. So maybe I'll do this for a little bit. And I have a few other friends that I want to get on that, for me, represent high value men. It's not about the money they make. It's about the choices they make. And I want to have their stories heard because it's inspiring to me. And it should be inspiring to you. So this is nothing famous. I don't want to be a influencer, a star, or anything like that. It's all bullshit to me. So I almost feel like saying, don't like the video. Don't subscribe. Just email me. Let's keep it quiet. Let's keep this community small. Right now it's very small. I think the second interview that we did with Josh right now is at six views. There's value to it. There's tons of value to it. It's a great story. His life is a great story. That's why I want to have him on. Plus, he's very intelligent, and he has a lot to offer. So I'm glad that he joined me in the studio. There's a few more people I want to have on and have more conflict, so we can represent how respectfully you can deal with opposing views. That's important that we get down to being that way. Control your emotions, deal with opposing views by supporting your beliefs. If you can't support your beliefs, well, it's just like a empty Kleenex box. It doesn't have much value. You can kick it in the wind, whatever, it blows away. Be a rock. Support your views by being a rock, meaning you can support your views. I don't know how much sense that makes, but you get the point. And I think socially, we need to get, it's tilting on me again. So I'm so ghetto. We need to get back to value and not quantity of bullshit. You know, stay away from the trendy language to make it sound like you're intelligent. Bring some value by some deep thought. Okay, it's starting to fall off this magnet. Whatever. All right, you guys. 20 minutes. Oh my gosh, I babbled too much. I'll try to do more frequent videos. I appreciate you tuning in. Cheers. Men of Values.